is going on, Nissan Nation? It's your buddy Dave of the Nissan Nation Wait, you're watching the Nissan Nation podcast. Of course you know what you're watching, right? Anyways, once again, this is our 2011 Juke, and you're probably thinking, Dave, why do you keep showing us this Nissan Juke? Well, for one, we bought the car to show you guys and show you everything we are going to do to this car. But two, I haven't got to drive this thing in like, I don't know, it's been raining for the 3 weeks or so that I've got to drive this car. So I've not got to like properly rip this car and go see what it can do. And I want to go do that. So before we get into this, if you don't know anything about these Jukes, you can get in a little 1.6 liter direct injected turbo. That's right, a turbo. And this one has a 6-speed manual transmission. The same 6-speed manual transmission that they put in about everything else that Nissan makes. It's front wheel drive. And do front wheel drives, like, really, are they fun to drive? Will it rip around the corners and stuff? So let's go find out. All right, keys in hand, let's go drive this thing. The 2011 Juke. So let's take it for a ride. Let's show you guys kind of what it's like to drive this thing. This car is a lot different than the rest of my fleet. Of course, I'm truck centric, so usually cars handle a little better than trucks. And this one's pretty interesting. Of course, you've seen the get-go of this thing. You know it needs a few things. It needs a tire balancing bad. I can feel a little vibration when you get into it. But little thing will get up and go. I was reading a little bit about what Car and Driver had said about this thing, and they were talking, I think, 0 to 60 in 7.5 or something. It's this thing's light. It's like 2,900 pounds, so it doesn't take much for this little 1.6 liter direct injected turbo to get up and go. We need some turbo parts, don't we? So this thing, as of right now, I've been averaging probably about 25 to 30. I do a lot of in-town with it. I don't get to drive it as much as I want to, though. And still, it's a lot of fun to drive. Take her through some winding roads and so we don't get in trouble with this thing. And don't let anybody tell you this little car is not a ripper, man. Front wheel drive is I haven't really had a front wheel drive car, God, 15 years or more, but this little thing is a ripper. I can't wait to something a little better tires on this thing. You could definitely put a racier clutch in this thing, I will say that. 105,000, I'm assuming the clutch has never been replaced in this thing. I'm sure it's pretty worn, but it still rips. There it was. Wish you could just hear the turbo a little more in this thing. That's obviously the factory wants turbos quiet, but I want to hear the thing. Can't say enough about this thing, man. I can't wait to get a little more boost out of this. Get this thing tuned a little bit. I think tuning this little car is going to make a world of difference. What a ripper, man. I love this little car. I can see dropping it maybe a half inch or more. Just a little more aggressive street tire on this thing. And I think you could go, for the $6,000 I paid for this car, I think you could take it to the track. And some will laugh about this, and I don't care. And have a fun day in this car
stock. I mean, this car is completely stock, and I think you could have a lot of fun in this thing. I really do. Now, is it going to give you the thrills of a GTR or that new C8 Corvette? Probably not. This thing, it wants to go around corners, man. Like I said, I wouldn't want a CVT transmission in this thing just because, I don't know, I've seen people take the CVTs to the track in these and they do fine. It needs a little bit bigger transmission cooler, but they do fine. But the manual to me is the way to go in this thing. Little car will go, man, around corners. It needs a little better tire for sure, but man, this is the first time I've really gotten to get into this car, and as long as people stay in their lane, I'm pretty good. This is one of my favorite little strips of road because there's some good straightaway, but there's some just good corners too. And we were whipping through there, you know, we're in Mexico, by the way, so whatever speeds are legal here, but we were whipping through there pretty good.
There you have it, guys. That is my first real impression of driving this thing. I mean, you've seen it when we picked this thing up. You got to see it a little bit, and you're like, okay, that was cool. But I am very amazed how much fun this car is to drive. Like going around them corners, it hugged the corners very well. It just was really fun to drive. And I don't know if it's because I haven't had a car in a while, or if it's just the Juke is a really fun car to drive. But this little thing will rip. Now I can't wait to maybe get this thing down to Z1. Let's get that turbo up just to push it a little bit more. Let's go through this thing. Let's get a new blow-off valve for it. I can't wait to get a catback exhaust maybe on this, or just at least a muffler on this thing, just to kind of make it sound a little more fun. But the Juke is for real, guys. If you guys like this content, be sure to like and subscribe this. It means a lot, and it does help fund these little projects. The more likes and follows and stuff that we get, the more that we're able to do this thing. And I got some vinyl in the other day, some wrap, and I think I might have changed my plans on it though. If you're friends with us on Instagram, you've seen the vinyl that I picked out, or the wrap I picked out. But somebody hinted that maybe we just do something. It's too good. We'll save that for another video. So from all things Nissan here in my driveway to yours, this has been your Nissan Nation podcast.